First at 5. From the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
New details today on the suicide bombing in Manchester, England. We'll bring you the latest on how the country is responding.
And Alachua County reaches a turning point decision of its own, with commissioners saying Old Joe must go. The threat of severe weather has ended across much of north central Florida. Today, in just a few minutes, I'll tell you what you can expect for the evening ahead. We begin with the controversial game plan for removing Gainesville's most prominent Confederate memorial. I'm Jocelyn Howard.
And I'm Alexis Cruz. If the plan works, Old Joe will be gone after several months, with new art replacing it within a few years. WFT's Mari Salazar was at the charge discussion last night and brings us the latest on the community reaction.
In the end, the vote was 4-1 to force a change. People from near and far were able to sound off yesterday about the statue for and against. And in the heat of protest before the meeting, one person was arrested for simple battery. The meeting itself found commissioners pushing for a final decision. After years of protests and meetings discussing the Confederate statue known as Old Joe, the Alachua County Commission voted 4-1 last night to remove it from outside the county administration building. It's been there since 1904, and some people are not happy about the decision.
See that flag right up there? The American flag. I fought for that flag too.
Others like the county's idea to replace it with new artwork that's more inclusive.
So we can look at it and we can say, you know, we had bad times, but now we're ready for the good time. Because that statue does not represent what Gainesville is trying to strive for now.
The statue of Old Joe was built in 1904, and some people think that it's a symbol of racism and slavery, and others think that it's a harmless way to commemorate fallen Confederate soldiers. Commissioners listened to about 60 people before they made their decision. The county is offering the United Daughters of the Confederacy the first option to take it back and pay for its removal. The cost of the local move is estimated at nearly $15,000, and other local groups have already said no thanks.
The Matson Museum declined, Forest Meadows East declined, the High Spring Cemetery declined.
If the original donor group also declines, the county will pursue another option to remove or relocate it. The one commissioner to vote against the plan was Lee Pinkerson.
Thanks, Madi. Ocala veterans often have to go all over town just to find the help they need. Today, that starts to change with the opening of the new Marion County Veterans Resource Center in Ocala. More than 200 people attended a ceremony for the new one-stop center that includes job programs, computer classes, and mental health services. In addition to comfort zones for vets to relax, there will also be places for veterans to seek help with administration benefits. Marion County commissioners teamed up with the nonprofit Veterans Helping Veterans to transform an abandoned bowling alley into the resource hub.
It's just a small sign of appreciation we can provide for our hometown vets. With a population of 45,000 veterans in our county, we want to make sure that they know when they come home, we love them and that we serve them.
This center is the first of its kind in Florida, but state legislators from the area hope other counties will follow their lead.
Today, heavy rains will give firefighters some relief from endless wildfire duty and will let some counties lift their burn bans. Bradford County had already made the call, and ban there began on April 27th, so it lasted nearly a month. Emergency management still urges people to use proper fire safety practices when they conduct any outdoor burning.
And as you were saying, heavy rains today. We saw some in north central Florida as well.
That's right, and That's right, Alexis.
And I think UF forecaster Brian Borgiano has an update from us for us from the Weather Center. Brian?
Well, here in Gainesville, we have cleared out and the severe weather threat has ended. We were under a tornado watch this afternoon. A severe thunderstorm watch is still in effect for areas to our east and also to our south. But here in Gainesville, we are dry right now. Still some showers and storms are lingering around on radar, mainly this one line near Perry and Cross City. That could move into our area, but for the most part, the rain here in north central Florida is out of the equation. We could see some showers, though, in our area through the evening. After that front moves through, though, we do dry out, and for tomorrow, we will be clear. And even right now, we are cool because of the cloud cover and the rain. 75 in Gainesville, 73 in Ocala, and 72 degrees in Lake City. And we will cool off this evening into the 60s by the morning. And coming up, I'll tell you just how cool we'll get for your Friday. Back to you.
There is a lot unfolding in the investigation into the terror attack in Manchester, England. New information and arrests and a new concern about more violence. NBC's Jay Gray has the latest.
As the investigation grows in Manchester tonight, a stunning revelation. The local paper quoting British security officials who say accused suicide bomber Salman Abedi likely did not assemble explosives used in the attack, and that the bomb maker may still be on the loose.
It's very clear that this is a network that we are investigating.
A number of people have been arrested, including an older brother in Manchester, his younger brother and father detained in Libya.
These family member arrests are going to be part of that network. Who else did he communicate with? Who did he talk to in the community? Who did he talk to online?
Intelligence sources say Abedi had known connections to ISIS and may have recently traveled to Syria and Libya and likely received terror training overseas. As the search for evidence and answers continues, so does the outpouring of emotion here. Thousands gathering at memorials across the city as they honor the 22 lost. The youngest victim, 8-year-old Safi Rose Rusas, remembered today during a private ceremony at her school.
As you can imagine, there were tears from the children and the staff, but we know together we have to hold on to the love amongst us. We owe that to Safi and her family.
Members of a local mosque paused for a moment of silence this afternoon before condemning the attack.
This act of cowardice has no place in our religion or any other religion for that matter.
But there are constant reminders that it's happened here, including armed police and military personnel on guard across the country to make sure it doesn't happen again. Jay Gray, NBC News, Manchester, England.
For more details related to the Manchester bombing, stay tuned for BBC World News.
President Trump continued his first trip overseas today with a stop at the Vatican to meet with Pope Francis. NBC's Kristen Welker has that story.
President Trump was asked about his extraordinary meeting with the Pope.
He is something. He is really good. We had a fantastic meeting and we had a fantastic tour. It was really beautiful.
These two leaders couldn't be more different. The Pope lives a modest lifestyle. President Trump is more lavish. But today they really tried to find common ground. According to the Vatican, they discussed a range of topics which included immigration, healthcare, the persecution of Christians, areas of agreement. But what is also striking is the extent to which the two of them have disagreed and clashed openly in the past. One of the main issues and points of contention was then candidate Trump's proposal to build a border wall. The Pope saying that anyone who wants to build a wall and not bridges is not Christian. That prompted a sharp rebuke from then candidate Trump, who called it a disgrace to question someone's religion. But there was a light moment today. The Pope really lit up when he met the First Lady, and he asked her if she feeds the president potiza. That's a Slovenian dessert. She laughed and said she feeds him pizza. It was a real moment of levity. And today, none of those disagreements were on display. This was about the optics, positive optics that could help the president turn the page on a number of controversies that he's battling back at home.
And straight from the Pope and that pizza from Italy, President Trump is now in Brussels for meetings with NATO leaders. This is the stop 4 of 5 on the president's first journey overseas.
It is expected that the president will be a part of a big welcome ceremony tomorrow as the nations of NATO unveil a brand new building to hold the headquarters of the long-standing alliance. For President Trump, this is a high-stakes meeting because of his criticism of the organization, even at the host country, Belgium, while he was a candidate. But this is an opportunity for him to try to also focus on the organization's attention more on the threat of terrorism and ISIS, something he wants to see this organization do more of. While NATO already has that part of its mission, the president wants to take some credit for them pushing it further in that decision. And up next,
and more on the Trump administration. They are now defending its budget plan on Capitol Hill.
And a car seat just might put children in danger.
Across north central Florida, and after the front passes through early Thursday morning, we will dry off and will also be cooler for your Thursday and Friday. Coming up, I'll tell you just how cool we can get for your Friday morning.